Hello, and welcome to the Spa-Francorchamps circuit, one of the crown jewels of motorsport and the iconic setting for today's race featuring the 90s Group C cars. Nestled among the picturesque Ardennes forest, this legendary track spans over 7 kilometers of pure racing excitement. With its challenging and undulating layout, Spa is renowned for its legendary corners like Eau Rouge and Blanchimont, offering drivers a thrilling blend of high-speed straights and technical twists that truly test their skills and courage. Today's race will be a nostalgic journey back to the golden era of endurance racing, as these powerful Group C machines take to the track once again. These cars, with their distinctive design and roaring engines, as you can hear in the background, are sure to captivate fans and drivers alike, evoking memories of epic battles from the past. As a favorite among motorsport enthusiasts, Spa promises to deliver another unforgettable race day filled with drama, speed, and passion. Stay tuned as these classic Group C cars and the SimRacingMania's finest drivers battle it out on this historic racetrack. And here we are, so standings from the previous two races. First race we were at Watkins Glen, and on the second race in Laguna Seca. Standings after these two races: Nikolai Bezhrukov is in the lead with 114 points. Jordan Schwartz is in P2 with 82 points. And Matteo Dintella is in P3 with 77 points. Due to their great success in the previous races, the organizers were also generous enough to award certain drivers with a little bit of success ballast for this round, and therefore Nikolai Bezhrukov has a combined success ballast of 40 kilograms this race. Matteo Dintella has earned a 20 kilogram success ballast, Andy Kurtzen, who we have successfully brought back down to earth, has been still given a 15 kilogram success ballast carried over from race 1, and Jordan Schwartz has a 10 kilogram success ballast. We are in the final stages of the practice before we head on to qualifying, and it was looking like it was going to rain. It actually has rained previously a little bit, as the track is still slightly damp. But right now there is no sign of rain. But we will see if the rain gods will throw a spanner into the race midway through the 75 minutes of the race. Would definitely make things a little bit interesting. 14 drivers today in the Group C machinery with the Mazda 787B, as we are currently watching one right here on screen, the Sauber C11, and of course the Porsche 962C. Drivers only this week. We have had a last-minute notification from one of the drivers that their hardware is a little bit in rough shape and needs replacing even. But nonetheless, I am very much sure that the race will be exciting as ever. Andy Kurtzen currently in P2. Lap times have begun to tumble towards the later part of the practice session. And as I said that, Andy Kurtzen has been relegated to P4 currently. But times are improving because track conditions are constantly improving. Around about 30 minutes ago, I think the quickest laps were around a 2:06, 2:07, and now as you can see, P1 held by currently Lars Hagemann, a 2:13. And Andy Kurtzen has just improved it even further to a 2 minute and 4 tenths. Oh, and a spin and into the wall. I think this was a little bit intentional on Andy's part. Maybe he wants to fly again today. Or maybe it was another case of commentator's curse. The fishman Nikolai Bezhrukov taking the final chicane very much sideways. And crosses the line. Which I believe was his outlap, so he did not improve his time. But will be giving it all on this lap, apparently. Full throttle through Radeon. Total commitment. Immense bravery. Over 300 kilometers per hour. Before braking for Lecombe. And I can see Nikolai is again practicing his famous lift and coast technique. So we are probably going to see another case of fuel saving on his part. What are your predictions for the race, chat? Any favorites for this race? Or would you rather speculate after the qualifying is finished? I believe Nikolai is trying to see how much or how quick can he still drive while fuel saving. Let's see his current lap time information or his split times. 2.5 down in first sector, half a second down in the second sector. And that is 2:03.5. 1 second down in the final sector. Lars Hagemann, who is also on an outlap. In the Porsche 962C. A minute and a half remaining in the practice session before we flip over to the quali and possibly see the last sandbags being thrown out of the cars. These cars simply look like they're glued to the ground as they take those fast corners, like Blanchimont that we just saw a couple of seconds ago. Although when you do drive them, you can see that they are dancing around quite a bit. And I don't know what it is, but something about these cars just makes them look super quick. Even though I've been comparing speeds through corners with more modern LMP2 Orecas, and they are pretty much on par. In some corners, the Group C cars are maybe a tad bit quicker, in others a tad bit slower. But something about them just makes them look super fast. Of course, driving them with the stick shift also makes them super exciting. And just as I'm rambling on, Andy Kurtzen has dipped the times below the magic 2-minute mark. And practice session is over. Lap times, Dennis. We're talking about lap times. Oh! Oh, okay. That was just a session reset. And here we go. There we go. We are ready for the beginning of qualifying. Counter is counting down. 10 minutes. Hey Jerome, thank you for dropping in and good luck in the quali and later in the race. Hey, you know me, Dennis. That's what I do. Private qualifying session, so we won't be seeing other cars around the one that we are watching. First out of the pits was Olli Karjanlahti in the Mazda 787B. So we are going to stick with Olli for a lap. Oop, wrong camera. Let's take this one. Taking it easy on the out lap. Track appears to still be a little bit damp. Oh. Clutch is in. Oh, lift and coast. Saving the last drop fuel so that he can go full blast for the full scent lap. I assume. Looks like it. Nice one, Dennis. Nice one. Also respect if you can keep this up for this long in the morning. And we're off. Or not. Sorry, Ollie, if I cast a commentator's curse on your qualifying lap, but you were first out of the pits. And he should be going full tilt right about now. Across the start-finish line. Soon into the braking for La Source. Turn 1 at Spa. Very tight corner. And then a fast downhill section. Full throttle. Past the pit wall. Into Eau Rouge, the left-hand corner. Then up to Radion, the right and left combination. Ooh, squirmy over Radion. Well above 300 kilometers per hour before braking for the Lecombe combination. And a downhill tricky Brussels corner. A little bit off camber and a very long one. Have to be patient. Wait. And then on throttle. No name, another tricky corner. Very easy to go too wide here. Nowadays we have sand pits on the outside, so cannot do that. And then the long double left hand apex Pouon. And hard braking again for Piff Paff. I know I'm using the old corner names, but I don't know the new ones from Spa, unfortunately. Oh, almost into the sand. And now Stavelo 1. And have to nail Stavelo 2 perfectly, possibly without a lift, so you can carry all that speed to a long run up to Blanchimont, which is a full throttle corner, or at least should be in, at least in dry conditions. It will be even in damp conditions. Again, over 300 kilometers before heavy braking for the bus stop chicane, which does not look like bus stop anymore. But it used to in the past, but it still holds the name. And across the line again. And we will see Ollie's lap time of 2 minutes and 2 tenths. In the meantime, Andy Carson has set a P1 lap time of a 1 minute 59 seconds flat, with P2 belonging currently to Lorenzo Capellini with a 1 minute 59 and 7 tenths. The Sauber does seem to have the pace advantage on this track, at least from the first couple of results. But I wonder how it will hold up with tire usage. And Lorenzo Capellini enters the pits. Watch for that speed limiter line. And possibly reset the pits, or will he do a pit stop? He will not do a pit stop. First Porsche 962C driver, Lars Hagemann. With the best lap time of 2 minutes and 5 tenths. Last lap time 2 minutes, 1 second and 4 tenths. Campus? What's campus, Dennis? There's no campus here. Campus is where you have all the students and whatnot. Is that not it? We have 2 drivers still to set a lap time, Matej Scholar and Jesper Burns. Oh, and we have a purple Sector 1 by Lars Hagemann. I meant at Spa. There are no students at, I mean, Spa, the racetrack, right? Let's see Lars's Sector 2 time. Oh, a second and 3/10 slower. Are track conditions becoming worse? Because I've seen a couple of drivers have worse Sector 2 times than their first laps. Ooh, that was maybe a tad quick downshift. What will it be? 2:05. Slight improvement, but no positions gained. One minute of qualifying remaining. So last laps are going in. Who's in the pits now will not have a chance to do another lap. And the only driver in the pits currently is Ali Karyanlahti, currently in P3 with a 2 minutes and 2/10 lap time. Nikolai Bezrukov and Andy Kurtzen have also abandoned their last laps. They are also already in the pits. Andy Kurtzen before heading back to the pits has managed to improve his lap time even further and did a 1:58.8. A stellar lap, almost a second quicker than P2 Lorenzo Capellini, who is also in the pits. We have one driver without a lap time, Jesper Burns. Hopefully this will be it. He does have... Ooh, oh my word, and a spin, unfortunately. That could have been around about a P10 lap time, I think. Judging by Sector 1 and Sector 2. Now, unfortunately, Jesper is in the last position. Everyone is slowly resetting to pits. Ooh, a little bit of a grass there, Jordan. This is not iRacing, mate. Two minute 1 and 2:08. P10. Luca also crossing the start finish line now with a 2 minute 1 and 1. Lucas Setsky is on an outlier. Oh, we'll drive back into pits. Practice that pit lane entry. Jordan doing burnouts, drifting through La Source, and session is reset to warm up. Go, and we will be able to see all the cars again, not just the one that we're currently spectating. So, how do we feel now? We have seen the qualifying. Qualifying is over. How do we feel about the race results now? Any predictions? Who will take the flag? Have a feeling that Andy Kurtzen will be back for vengeance this time. provided he can keep the car on the track. Hey, Nate. Yeah, it wouldn't be bad if Matej won. Wouldn't be bad if Matej won. He is currently in P13 though. What the hell does that sink want now? Ooh, someone is in the sand. This was Alundrat, I believe. Yes, in the Porsche 962C. See what happened. Oh, just overcooks it into the corner. A little bit too fast, goes a little bit too wide, and is unfortunately in the sand. Go Karhu. I assume this message is for Ollie, Karjan Lahti. No lap times yet on the board. Für Deutschland. Minutes of warm-up remaining before we transition into the next session, which will be the race. 75 minutes of loud action. Which car does sound the best in your opinion? Like I even need to ask. Björn Hagemann decides to drive into the pits, while Lars is still going at it. Will he enter pits as well? Yes, he will. Oh no, he will not. He will go for that lap time. Looks like he will be the only one to set a lap time. And it will be a 2 minutes 6. Assuming this is now on race fuel load. Well, Dennis, I have to disappoint you. The Ferrari 412 T2 is not in this race. Although I do agree, Ferraris do have some very good sounding cars. Race cars and road cars, in my opinion. must admit I have sort of a soft spot for the Ferrari SP333 in terms of sound, looks and everything. I did very much like that era of open-top prototypes, which began shortly after those Group C cars started disappearing, and we saw them roundabout until like 2013-14, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when they were eventually phased out by, again, hardtop, close canopy race cars. Well, some did last a little bit longer than 20 seconds. Which is a long time if you ask me. Stop judging. Andy Kurtzen is on a quick lap. Current purple sector in Sector 1. 8 tenths up. So I predict what will happen again. Andy Kurtzen will go full tilt, while Nikolai Bezhrikov will probably go the fuel-saving route. That's why we saw him in practice lifting and coasting. And warm-up is over. Will we see the end of Andy's lap? Because he's currently 1.1 seconds up on current P1, Lars Hagemann. Oh, unfortunately not. So we will take a couple of seconds for a break and we'll be right back with you. Here we go, beginning of the formation lap. Behind the Corvette safety car. And let's take a quick look at the starting order. P1 Andy Kurtzen in the Sauber, followed by Lorenzo Capellini also in the Sauber. P3 Olli Karjanlahti in Mazda 787B. Lars Hagemann in P4 in the Porsche, followed by Nikolai Bezhrikov again in the Mazda, and Luca Chiarfella in P6 in the Mazda as well. P7 Björn Hagemann and P8 Matteo Dentella. P9 Olendrath, P10 Jordan Schwartz, P11 is Lucas Setsky, followed by Jerome Metrol and Matej Scholar in P13, and in P14 Jesper Burns. I do believe we have lost a couple of drivers though, because I have 14 drivers on the starting order, but only 12 remain in the list right now. Well, Dennis, you're going to have to blame... Oh, we had a reset of the server because of the disconnects, apparently. Let me check with the race director, Tomasz Golub.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
And we are back up to 14 drivers. Haha, Mitya and Nates. Very funny. Very funny. And Dennis, yes, you're going to have to complain to Tomasz about race director not saying Mr. Dick Hammerbush. And yes, race was restarted due to disconnects. So, formation lap will begin anew. Hvala, Šolar. Or thank you, Šolar, for those who don't speak Slovenian. Drivers are on the track and we are off for the second attempt of the formation lap. Matej is pozdravljing you. Yes, that's Slovenian English. Šolar currently in P13. How many positions can he gain in lap 1? Please remind him that races are won in T1. Track is still slightly damp. Not damp, but damp. Full sand into Saint Devote. We're not in Monaco, Dennis. Well, I'm in no position to ban or not ban anyone, so I can tell the admins that it was my idea, but that's about it. Just throw me under the bus. Oh, it appears the admins are here. Hi, Michael. I was a good boy, promise. It is quite a long formation lap. just joined. You weren't here from the beginning, Michael. That's concerning. Like RF2 would ever do RF2 things, Michael. No, you know you're just making excuses. Yeah, Michael, please restart. People missed the beginning of the formation lap. It is a nice field behind Andy. Let's see how turn 1 will go. Yes, this is in fact R factor 2. Drivers are coming up to the bus stop chicane where the safety car will pull into the pits, and we will be in a green flag race. Andy Kurtzen from P1, followed by Lorenzo Capolini in P2, and Olli Karjanlahti in P3, and they're off. And it appears Lorenzo had a very poor start, while Olli and Nikolai had excellent launches, and they are both up into P2 and P3. It seems we have survived turn 1 in good condition. And Nikolai Bezhrukov has taken the lead. Nikolai Bezhrukov has taken the lead before Eau Rouge out of La Source. Lukasetsky has been given a penalty, unfortunately, probably for the wrong position at the start. But let's see what went on with, or how Nikolai got into P1. Hopefully I can find this relatively easy. Or not. Unfortunately could not find the correct moment where Nikolai slipped past. And Olli as well, past Andy. Matej Scholar has had an off-track event. Let's maybe see if we can catch that moment. Extremely sorry, I know what is happening. I forgot. The best streamer in the world. I forgot to do this. That's why I cannot watch back. Let's see. Ooh, there was an accident. That's why Matej Scholar was off. And is currently in last position. Some 3 seconds behind Matteo Dentella, who is half a second behind Jerome Metron, and will make a pass through the camel kink. And is up to P12. After having a poor start, Lorenzo Capellini is on the tail of Luca Ciarfella, currently 4 tenths behind, who in turn is 6 tenths behind Andy Kurtzen. And we have had a change in position for the lead. Let's see if we can catch that moment. Hopefully it wasn't back too far. It was quite a while back. On the camel straight. In the draft, Olli Karjanlahti of Nikolai Bezhrukov had a much better exit through Radion, still in draft, and pulls out of the draft, passes before the braking zone. Luka Setsky is serving his penalty in the pits. And Andy Kurtzen is on the tail of Nikolai Bezhrukov. Only 2 tenths separate the two drivers, although I do think that's an old information, because that looks a lot closer than 2 tenths. Will this give the opportunity to Karjanlahti to extend his gap? Current gap to P1 is almost 2 seconds. A little way back we can see Jordan Schwartz and Lorenzo Capellini very close as well. And following both of them is Luca Ciarfella. I seem to miss all the important events that are happening. Andy Kurtzen in the draft, pulls out of the draft for Blanchimont, makes the pass before Blanchimont and is up into P2 again. Oh, Jordan Schwartz had an off track. We will go and watch this back. Jordan Schwartz, oh my word, heavy hit into the wall. Oof, hood is off. I saw the hood flying. That was an accident with, I believe, Lorenzo Capellini. Heavy hit into the wall on the approach to Blanchimont, and into the pits goes Jordan. Very early in the race, I'm afraid he will probably have to stop again for fuel. It's a real shame. Got up to P4. I believe Matteo Dentella has made another pass, this time on Björn Hagemann. And now I believe Jerome Metral is on the tail of Björn Hagemann. Time board says half a second, although I do think that looks a little bit more than half a second. Yes, more 9/10. Yes, Michael, I wouldn't want to be the steward for that one. The accident between Jordan and Lorenzo Capellini is going to be a tough one to call. It had a very unfortunate outcome. But we are enjoying a three-way battle right now between Björn Hagemann, Jerome Mitrol, and Jelly Ollendrath. Theodentella has made another pass. Oh, and we have maybe a too wide into Eau Rouge. No. Mate Scholar taking a position and is up to P10. Has relegated Jerome into P11. A very nice move. Mate Scholar appears to be on the tail of Björn Hagemann now. No, Dennis, I checked that the door was closed even before. They seems to be lapping slightly quicker than Björn Hagemann in the front. Last lap time for Björn was a 2:07, and Mate did a 2:05. Although the gap is up to 1 second now. We are going to jump on board with Matteo Dentella, who is right on the tail of Lars Hagemann. Matteo must have had a bad start because he qualified quite a bit more in front, as I remember. Follows closely through Eau Rouge and Radion. And I believe we are going to see another pass down the Camel Straight. Indeed. Accident does not give a chance to Lars to respond. And let's see if he will be able to pull away now. Jumping back to the two-way battle between Hagemann and Scholar for P9. Seem like through the straight sections Mate is able to close the gap, then through the twists Hagemann is again extending his gap a little bit. Behind Mate, Mitrol is also in the mix. So a nice three-way battle for P9. In the front we can see Bezrukov backing off. As Luca Chiarfella is right on the back of the fish wing. That's a nice shot. is gaining fast. Will he be able to make the pass? Yes, I believe this is a pass done, indeed. We could hear Bezrukov again lifting. And yes, as Michael points out, Jordan has left the pits in the meantime and is still on the lead lap. But is 30 seconds behind P13. Battle for P9 continues. Hageman is still being hounded by Scholar behind, who has extended the gap a bit back to Metral. And up in front the gap is down to 1 second, and I can see the last lap of Ollie was an invalid lap. Although I do not see an off track for Ollie. But I think Ollie is again extending a little bit. And this is Alondrat, who had a spin coming out of the bus stop chicane, changing our battle for P9 into battle for P8. And I am pretty sure Alondrat will come back into the mix, into that battle as well. A little bit too much of the happy pedal on the exit of bus stop. Almost collects Hageman, but luckily no touchy. Yes, I agree, Michael. There must have been something because his lap was invalid, but I did not have any off-track events for Karihan Lahti. And on the last lap, P1, Ollie's lap was 2 minutes 3 and 1/10, while Andy's was a 2 minutes 3 and 3/10, almost 4/10. But they are very close together. And we could see a battle for P1. Jordan Schwartz has entered the pits again. Not sure what's going on there. Karihan Lahti had a better exit out of La Source. But will Andy maybe be able to close the gap on the Camel Straight? And we have first drops of rain. First drops of rain. This will definitely change up the order and throw every strategy in the bin. And Lorenzo Cappellini had an incident. He went off track. Let's see what happened there. Following Nikolai Bezrukov through, caught air and into the wall. Wing is off of Lorenzo Cappellini's car. A wingless Sauber C11. Rain is slightly coming down, as we can see. Wipers are on. Up ahead on the curtain is on the tail of Olli Karjanlahti and is gaining. Looking for a way pass through Blanchimont. Olli is protecting the inside on the entry for the bus stop chicane. They opt to go another lap. The rain is still rather light. Track is not that wet. Jordan Schwartz is still in the pits. No, it cannot be right. Olli has to lift quite a lot through Radion. This gives an excellent run to Andy. Will he be able to make the pass before the corner? Yes. And Andy Kurtzen is in P1. But now Olli is on the tail. Matej Scholar has entered the pits from P10, from P8 and is now in P10. Perhaps a change for wet tires. Huh. RSER, RRRS, SSR. No idea what any of these are, but I'm pretty sure the R is not the rain tire because the lap times are just way too quick. And Andy has extended his gap in this one lap up to 1.2 seconds. Very light rain, track is still pretty much dry, so it should be still possible to be driving with the slick tires. Jordan Schwartz will probably be right about fuming in his cockpit right now because he just pitted and he's pitting again. Could he be now swapping tires? Well, I do think this would be a little bit early to swap tires for wets. Rain is very light, only 5%, and Jordan has parked it in the garage. Has said, I have enough. Unfortunate, Jordan, unfortunate. But following an accident like he had, it can be very disheartening to be relegated from a good position of P4. Even if it's your fault, it's a tough situation. Made even tougher if it is the other guy's fault, or if you think it is the other guy's fault at that moment. I'm pretty sure he will be looking at the replay and hope he will join us in the stream. Gaps have extended now a little bit. times have fallen a little bit. P1 Andy Kurtzen last lap time was a 2:06.4. And Ollie's lap time was a 2:07.8. Everyone's lap times are dropping. Not sure if I can show lap times in this overlay. Setsky in P10 has had an off track. Let's see what happened. Oh, just too wide into Lecombe. Nothing dramatic. Alundrat is in the pits, possibly swapping for wet tires. Let's see if maybe I can spot wet weather. Oh, Luca Capolini is on intermediate tires. I believe the I stands for intermediate. Matej Scholar behind him is still on slicks, I believe. So I believe the R is for, like Michael pointed out, R500, R600. Yes, Michael, I know about that, but this only shows the current driver's lap time. I was thinking if I can maybe display everyone's lap times, but apparently not. And even this is a little bit fiddly because it randomly chooses who this is going to show. Let's see, and this last lap time is not even. It's 2:08.9. And Ollie was 1 second slower. Yeah, wouldn't want to fiddle with race lap during broadcast. And for P6, Lars and Björn Hagemann are very close together. Only 0.6 separate them. Björn was actually a full second quicker on the last time around. It does seem like the track is becoming slightly more wet because lap times are going down even further and further. Up in P1, Andy Kurtzen. Andy Kurtzen's lap time, last lap time was a 2 minutes 11 and 7/10, and Nikolai Bezhukov has entered the pits. Nikolai Bezhrukov from P3 into the pits and is currently in P5, but will soon be passed by Lars and Björn Hagemann. But pretty soon, I believe everyone will have to start thinking about wet weather tires. Lukasetsky also in the pits. And I believe, oh no, Bezhrukov is still stationary. It's a rather long pit stop. Possibly taking on all the fuel to go to the end. And that was a 77-second pit stop for Nikolai Bezhrukov. Well, it just says R, which might be rain. Ollie, who is also in a 787, had an S to his name, and both Andy and Ollie are in the pits. Both drivers are in the pits from P1 and P2, as well as Luca Ciarfella. Will Matteo Dintella pit as well? Not in the overlay, Michael. It doesn't. I'm hovering with the mouse over and it doesn't say anything. And Matteo Dintella is also in the pit. Michael, you meant the live timing thing. Yep, you're right. There it does indeed say that. And in the meantime, Jerome Metral has taken the lead of the race. Jerome still on the slick tires. Yes, indeed, it is rather hasty, or I wouldn't call it hasty, but with 5% rain and 15% wetness, might be a little bit quick to go into the pits, but then again, lap times were tumbling. We were down to 2 minutes and 12 seconds by the leaders before they decided to go into the pits. Pits are ending, Andy is out on intermediates. Luca Ciarfella is now in P2. P3. And Ollie has lost a position to Luca and is in P4. You can see puddles forming on the side of the track. Hey, Auntie. It's just some knobhead. Currently, everyone is on wet weather tires or intermediate tires. Except for Jerome Metral. Is he hoping to weather to improve and stop raining? Or will he go into pits right now? His last lap time was a 2 minute 20 and 9/10. I do believe Andy has closed the gap by 5 seconds in this last lap. is falling down. Positions have been reshuffled a little bit. Jerome is losing ground to Andy Kurtzen quite a bit. Andy's last lap time was a 2:18. So 3 seconds quicker than Jerome's last lap time. Oh. Jerome has lost it on the exit of Brussels. And you can see Andy in the background. I think Jerome knows he's not fighting for P1, so I believe he will make the smart choice of letting Andy go. If his game is to try and extend his stint on the slick tires in hopes of the rain letting up, he might gain a couple of positions. I will let Michael answer that, which exact version it is. We have 40 minutes of the race remaining. It was quite an action-packed race up until now. Now the gaps are a little bit extended. And Jerome continues on the slick tires. In P9, Lorenzo Capellini has gained a position. This is both Lorenzo Capellini and Alondrat ran wide out of Stavolo 2. Lorenzo on the tail of Alondrat, and both ran wide through Blanchimont, which gives Björn Hagemann the chance to close back right on their wings. Rather wide line by Lorenzo in the background, which puts him on the back foot and has to defend from Björn. Forgot to mention this is our third race of the series, with 3 more to go. But I think it should be fine. If anyone wants to join us as a driver in the next 3 weeks, the races are every week at 9:40. Actually, the qualifying starts at 9:40 Central European Summer Time. And Jerome Metrol has decided to pit. Jerome Metrol has decided that he is losing too much time and has pitted. Wetness of the track is now up to 40%. And Lorenzo Capellini has made a pass and is now up to P8. Oof, but has gone very deep into the bus stop chicane, which will give Allendrath a chance to retaliate, and retaliate he did. Metrol is falling down the order and is now in P10. Oh, and a tap on the rear from Bjorn. Stand corrected in what, Michael? Oh, we can see puddles now appearing across the whole track. Seems that Bjorn Hagemann is really hounding Capellini now. Oh, no, Jerome just got a penalty. Possibly speeding in the pits. I unfortunately do not see what the penalty is for. But we cannot go away from this battle right now. Lorenzo and Hagemann are nose to tail. Background runs very wide through Blanchimont. Capellini is downshifting very aggressively. That cannot be good for the engine. You have to be careful with those engines because you can destroy them. They are not indestructible here. And we can start seeing puffs of water spraying from behind the cars. Three-way battle for P7 still continues. Up in front, Andy and Luca are exchanging fastest lap times. Last time around, Andy's last lap time was 2 minutes 11.6. And I believe we are still waiting for Luca to cross the start-finish line. Or actually he just did, I think. And his last lap time was 0.2 slower than Andy's. I am unsure what kind of graphics engine does R-Factor 2 use. But thankfully we have Google. EC motor, I know that's for physics. Graphics engine G motor. I can only tell you what Google tells me. Andy is currently extending his gap over P2 over Luca Ciarfella. While the battle for P7 still continues. Jerome Mitrol has now served his penalty. And is currently running in P13, 19 seconds behind Matej Scholar. Oh. A little bit behind us, or behind Allendrath. Coppolini and Hageman are again nose to tail. I think I saw Coppolini go a little bit wide through Pouan. And we have 30 seconds of the race remaining. Water spray is more and more apparent from under the wings. Oh, and I believe Coppolini is entering the pits. Coppolini is entering the pits. Oh, did I say seconds? Sorry, I meant 30 minutes of the race remaining, or 29 right now. And we have another battle forming for P9 between Burns and Setsky. The Angry Dorito following the European muscle, and Angry Dorito goes through in the Lecom combination. Rather nice pass set up already on the exit of La Source, then kept very tight through Eau Rouge and Radion, and Setsky passed Burns on the Camel Straight, giving Burns very little opportunity to defend. In the meantime, Nikolai Bezhrukov in P4. His lap times are pretty much on par with the leaders. Does not seem that Nikolai would be lifting and coasting now. Probably because when it's wet conditions you are... Oh, nice drift. Nice drift through No Name. In wet conditions you usually are tiny bit less wasteful on fuel. And we have a battle for P11. Jerome Metrol has just passed Matej Scholar. Matej is not yet giving up, but runs wide through Blanchimont, unfortunately. Seems like leaders have again quickened their pace. Their lap times have dropped below 2:13. And this gap to P2 to Chiarfella is remaining around about 20 seconds. Will be surprised to see Andy still on the ground. Oh, and Cappellini has earned himself a penalty. Let's see what has happened there. Was it? No, it was not. Thought he ran wide here. Oh, that's still Andy. Why is it still Andy? That's Lorenzo, sorry. He might have gotten the penalty for track cuts. He might have gotten penalty for track cuts there. Unfortunate, but it does happen. Very wide out of Stavelo too. Almost lost it in the sand. Michael, how come you're not racing today? Watch that curb, Lorenzo. This is a deadly one. Will not serve the penalty this time around. Battle for P7 has also cooled down a little bit. Gap is up to 1.5 seconds. I kind of understand that. That's also the reason why I'm not driving. And I'm failing at yet another thing, which is trying to commentate on a race. Lap times are still around 2 minutes 12 seconds for the leader Andy Kurtzen. Track is still 40% wet. Oh, Nikolai Bezhukov had an off track, but I think he is okay. Coming into Lake Home. overcooks it, and is back on track. Oh, nothing tragic. Drifts out of the final Lacombe corner. His gap to Ollie is now 8.7 seconds. Yeah, Michael, but crashes are part of the fun, aren't they? Coming back to our battle for P7. Gap is now down to half a second. Oh, sorry, wrong car. Wanted to look from this perspective. Yep, it was mentioned in the beginning that Nikolai has been given the generous success ballast of 40 kilograms. Oh, and Alundrat is off the track at the bus stop chicane and retains the position. Could he may have gained a lasting advantage doing that? And we enter the last 20 minutes of the race. This cannot be right. This counter cannot be right. Chirfella and Karian Lahti have definitely stopped. I think this counter is a little bit broken. Indeed it is. But these two are again very close together. If Hagemann can get a good exit out of Stavelo, which he did, he is now firmly in the draft of Alundrat. Will he be able to make a move into the bus stop chicane? He had to back off through Blanchemont, which may have saved Alundrat this time around as well. A little bit of wheel spin out of that corner for Alundrat. Very wide on the source, which gives Hagemann again the chance to get into the slipstream. But following through Eau Rouge and Radion is tricky in the dry. Cannot imagine how it is in the wet. Lorenzo Capellini still has his penalty hanging over him. Yes, indeed, Lorenzo has just entered the pits, as we can see on the timing graphic. He will be serving that penalty, giving P12 to Matej Scholar. And coming into Piff Paff and Stavolo, Hageman is again on the tail of Allendrath. Will he be able to slip by before Blanchimont this time? It appear to have a better exit again. Is slightly closing, but will have to back off too much. Oh, Lorenzo Capellini has had an off track and has retired from the race. We will check that out in a second. Just when we see that these two will not swap positions, and I believe it will stay this way. Well, let's see what happened to Capellini. Oh, another crash through Radion. And he said enough for today. Burns is in the pits. Jasper Burns is in the pits, probably changing tires. And our P7 battle is still going strong. Allendrath and Hageman close together with around about a second of a gap. Feel like Hageman has the pace advantage in the later half of the circuit, while Allendrath is quicker in the first half. And catching up is one thing, passing is another. And yes, you are correct, rain has stopped, so track will start to dry out. As you can see, there is quite a nice dry line. Although I do believe it is still safer to stay on the wets because the dry line is nowhere near wide enough. Hageman shows himself in the mirrors, but cannot make a move into the bus stop chicane. And I believe behind Hageman is Luka Setsky. Five seconds behind though. Before this battle develops further, up in front Andy Kurtzen 25 seconds ahead of Luca Ciarfella, maintaining the gap of around about 25 seconds. Behind Luca, Karjan Lahti in another 787. 11 seconds behind Ciarfella is Karjan Lahti. Behind Karjan Lahti is Nikolai Bezhukov, who is 15 seconds back. I believe he was closer to Karjan Lahti before, so Nikolai must have had... Oh, he did have an off-track event. Let's see what happened there. He had an off-track a couple of laps ago. Oh, we watched that. Amazing. We of course watched that. But I'm not sure if this is the reason why he lost 7 seconds. But here we are. Quick jump here as there is a swap in position. Let's try and watch that back. Nope. You have to go back further. Again, a good exit out of Stavolo was important for Hageman. And could... Oh, did not pull alongside, but Allendrath has made a mistake going through Blanchimont. Went wide, side by side into the bus stop chicane with Allendrath on the inside, and Hageman had to concede in the bus stop again. So let's go back to the live feed where Hageman is again behind Allendrath, so the pass for position was very brief. Thank you, Michael. Behind them, Setsky is closing slowly and slowly, so we might have a three-way battle pretty soon on our hands. Setsky is around about a second and a half quicker. Oh, and Allendrath has gone very wide through Stavolo, and this has allowed Hageman to go through before Blanchimont. Will he be able to retain the position now? Or will Allendrath try to respond? A nice tail wiggle. Oh, mounted the sausage. Had a very quick last lap. 2:11.8 was his lap time. Almost as quick as the leaders, or the leaders are actually at 2:10.8. Just needs to calm himself down now. Oof. Very, very aggressive downshifts, and has run wide into Lacombe, almost giving a chance to Allendrath to take the position back again, but could manage to stay ahead for now. It can be quite tricky when you're following your car lap after lap for a long time, and then you finally have the sweet release of fresh air in front, and for a moment you kind of forget how you need to drive the track because you've been relying on the car being in front of you as some form of a reference, and now you're almost on your own. I have made this mistake in the past many times. I've been following your car lap after lap. I've kind of grown accustomed to where the car in front is, what the car in front is doing, and I was adapting my driving to that. And then when I was ahead, I was like, what do I need to do now? How do I drive this track again? But this is where Hageman is strong, the later half of the track, and has extended his gap to 1.4 seconds almost. Indeed, the dry line on the ideal line is now very much dry, but dip a wheel into the wet and it becomes very slippery very fast. Yes, Hagemann has seemed to calm down a little bit and is able to slowly pull away from Alundrat. Up in front, Andy Kurtzen. Last lap time of 2 minutes 9 and 9/10. So lap times are dropping with 5 minutes in the race remaining. And in P11 we might have had just a swap in position. This is not 1/10 R factor. Come on, update. 3.6. Yes, that's more like it. If I knew that sooner, I maybe would not have switched. Anyway, as I was saying before, Lukas Setsky is catching up. The gap for him is now down to 2 seconds. A gap that was 3 seconds a couple of laps ago. Setsky does not have a valid lap the last time around. Will we maybe see one final battle before the end of the race? Hagemann in P7. Sorry, Björn Hagemann is extending his gap to 2.5 seconds now. Have two Hagemanns, Lars and Björn. Four minutes remaining, which gives us about 3 laps, depending on where Andy currently is on the track. Ooh, Nikolai Bezhukov had again an off-track event. Let's take a look quickly before that battle develops. And again, it's into Laycomb, overcooking it, going too quick, and having to take the escape road, or not the escape road, but the, well, paved exit. And let's jump back to battle for P8, because Setsky is on the tail of Alundrat. And this we see Matej Scholar pulling off into the grass. Fortunately, we cannot afford to go look there, but oh, that was a mighty better exit by Setsky from Pif-Paf. Also, Ollie had an off. Let's see what happened with Ollie. Same story. Too quick into the first Laycomb. Cuts the chicane a little bit. Jumps over the sausages and is back on track. Alundrat has now extended the gap to Setsky back up to 3 seconds. What has happened with Ollie? With Lukas. Why is there a Mercedes between them? Is that Andy? Yes, indeed, that is Andy Kurtzen. Space roller has been going very slowly, or is still going very slowly. What is happening here? Driving very slowly, 80 kilometers per hour on the back straight. Does not appear to have damage. He is going into the pits, so probably out of fuel. Has to take a quick splash of fuel if he makes it. Hope he does. Would be unfortunate to have to. Engine is still on, so there is still some fuel in the car. Lukaszewski is again on the tail of Alundrat, and Alundrat goes very wide out of bus stop, and Setsky goes very sideways out of the bus stop. And now it's a drag race to La Source. And this is it. Andy has just started the final lap. That is Andy in the front, so we are in the final lap. So Setsky has the final opportunity now on this lap to maybe find a gap and pass. Ooh, and maybe we are just witnessing it right now. Oh, cuts across the nose of Setsky. He is eager to get that extra position. Very nice exit, but is blocked by Alundrat. Has to back out. There was just no room there. This is what we want to see. Close battles, but fair battles. Again, tries to go on the outside, but there is no room. There is just no room. Again, tries to pull to the outside. I'm sorry, Andy, I know this is your moment. You've come back with a vengeance, but we have to continue watching this because it is very close. Actually, the gap has extended now a little bit. Sorry for that slight commentator's curse. Will we maybe see a send into the bus stop? We will not. Actually, we will, but it didn't go to plan. And here we have our race leader and race winner, Andy Kurtzens, crosses the start-finish line in P1 after having a horrific accident in Laguna Seca the last week. Luca Ciarfella in P2, navigating bus stop chicane, crosses the start-finish line in P2. Karjan Lahti will finish in P3. And Bezrukov just navigates the Blanchemont and we'll finish this race in P4. For our 40 kilogram success ballast, a very good show, and lap times were not even that much slower from the leader. Matteo Dentella finishing the race in P5. Yes, horrific and hilarious, and made even more hilarious by your video, Michael. Matteo Dentella in the Porsche 962C crosses the start-finish line in P5. Now for a flurry of some Porsches, we first have Lars Hagemann and Bjorn Hagemann. Oh, actually Bjorn Hagemann has already finished because he is a lap down. Is that correct? I believe so. And this is race end. Thank you everyone for watching this very exciting race filled with lots of events. Do join me next week again, although I will be probably driving next week and not commentating. I don't know yet, but we'll see. And of course, massive congratulations for a flawless race, Andy Kurtzen. That was just next level and untouchable in this race. Like I said, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. I wish you a very, very good night or the end of the day, and see you next time. Bye bye.